This is the Beatbot AquaSense 2 Pro cordless robotic pool cleaner. My first look set the tone right away. The body has a sleek emerald green finish, the lines feel streamlined, and the wheels look tough in a good way. It comes across high-end without trying too hard. There's a solid heft to it that suggests durability, not a plasticky gadget that will fade after a season. The materials feel tight and well-fitted, and the whole thing looks like it belongs next to a clean pool deck instead of sticking out like a tool. I came into this with cautious optimism. I've owned other pool robots that made big promises but usually left me babysitting them. Cords would tangle, the unit would stall in the deep end, or it would glide right over fine grit and leave the floor dusty. Convenience matters as much as power. If I'm still fishing a robot out with a pole or scrubbing a waterline by hand, the tech isn't helping me. So I started with a little skepticism and a real hope that this would finally make pool care feel low effort. Setup was refreshingly simple. No tools, no assembly. I charged it, paired it with the app, and dropped it in. The fact that it's cordless is a big relief. Not having cables around the pool or needing an outlet within reach makes day-to-day use easier and safer. I tested surface skimming first. It cruised along the top, collecting leaves, dust, and that constant layer of pollen that seems to show up overnight. The app projected around 11 hours in skimmer mode, and to my surprise, it ran most of the day without quitting. On floor and wall cleaning, I consistently got about 5 hours per charge, which covered my medium pool in one go. The lithium-ion battery charges in just under 4 hours for me, and I was able to run multiple cycles in a day when I wanted a deeper clean. The self-parking is what sold me on the daily convenience. When a cycle ends, it parks at the waterline near the edge, drains, and becomes much lighter to lift out. That little detail removes a lot of hassle. A robot that settles in the middle of the pool when it's done is a chore. This one takes care of the last mile for me. For transparency, the cleaner weighs over 26 pounds, so it's not featherlight. The handle feels ergonomic and balanced, but you'll still feel it in your arms, especially if you're moving it often. The draining helps a lot, though, and I'm not fighting a waterlogged brick. Key features stand out in day-to-day use. It's a 5-in-1 system that tackles the pool floor, walls, waterline, and surface, and it has a water clarification function. In simple terms, a clarifier helps tiny particles clump together so the filter can catch them faster. From my experience, that matters right after windy days or storms. I've had times where the pool looked hazy even though the bottom was clean. Switching modes in the app is straightforward, and I like that I can target specific areas if something needs attention. I also appreciate the cleaning patterns. The app lets me pick S or N pathing, which just means it follows a planned route instead of drifting around randomly. Coverage feels consistent and quick, especially compared to older robots that wandered like they were guessing. The water clarification option is more than a gimmick. It uses a recycled crab shell agent that's described as gentle on skin. I'm not a chemist, but I know what I see. On a cloudy afternoon, I ran a cycle with the clarifier, and within hours the water looked noticeably clearer. I didn't have to hand dose separate chemicals or run the pool pump forever. In my opinion, that's a nice bonus for anyone trying to keep water balanced without overcomplicating the routine. Now for the parts I didn't love. The weight can be a factor. Even after draining, lifting a 26+ pound unit isn't effortless. If you've got back issues or you don't like lifting heavy things, plan for that. The app also tripped me up a few times. I had a couple of connection drops and a little lag when I tried manual steering to nudge it to a specific spot. It's not constant, and I got the hang of it, but the delay is there on occasion. On surface cleaning, the unit was smooth most of the time, but steps and built-in benches confused it here and there on the first few runs. It paused a bit around odd angles, then carried on. After a week, it seemed to map my layout better and moved more confidently. Debris capacity is strong for normal days. During spring, when the trees dump everything at once, I did have to empty the filter basket mid-run if a lot of large leaves or twigs fell in. The basket is big enough for average use, but heavy leaf weeks can fill it quickly. That's not unique to this robot, but it's worth knowing if your yard feeds your pool. Durability and support look promising. The coating is said to be UV and heat resistant, and it feels that way in hand. The build doesn't flex or creak. I also appreciate the 3-year full replacement guarantee. It's rare, and it makes me feel like the company is standing behind the hardware and the battery. After a month of tests, I'm not seeing scuffs or fading, and the performance hasn't dipped. The cordless design plus reliable battery life makes quick cleanups easy on busy days. It's perfect for people who want a clean pool without micromanaging a robot. If you host often or you just like seeing clear water when you look outside, this saves time. From my experience, standard backyard pools get a full clean on a single charge, and the robot doesn't need hand-holding. If your pool is unusually large or has a complex shape with lots of tight corners and benches, you might need to run a second cycle or give it a manual nudge to catch a stubborn spot. Even then, I was impressed by how much it handled on its own. In my opinion, the value comes from the combination of cordless freedom, long battery life, reliable navigation with planned patterns, and the clarifier feature that genuinely helps with cloudy water. The self-parking at the edge is the everyday win that cuts friction every single time. I did want a slightly lighter body and a snappier app connection, but those trade-offs didn't outweigh the overall performance for me. I'd recommend this for anyone who's tired of babysitting pool tools and wants something that actually follows through on the promise of set and forget. If you care about design, this looks sharp beside a modern deck. If you care about cleaning power, it picks up fine debris well and keeps the waterline under control. If you care about maintenance, the basket is easy to remove and rinse, and the charge time fits neatly into an afternoon schedule. In conclusion, this cleaner earns a spot in my routine. It's fast to start, thorough across floors, walls, and surface, smart about coverage, and easier to handle at the end of a run than any corded robot I've owned. It doesn't solve every single pool scenario, but it solves most of the ones that used to waste my time. That's the difference I was hoping for. I will leave all the information about the Beatbot AquaSense 2 Pro cordless robotic pool cleaner in the comments. I hope to see you again in the following videos.